Vinny, anybody who knows him knows what a great person he was, what he brought to his community, what he brought to his work environment, what he represented in his morals and his values, who he was as a person, as a father, as a husband. He was a great person that nobody expected to struggle with mental illness or this mental stress to do something like this.
I didn't know anything could stop him.
Vinny and I met in 2000. We worked together. So Vinny and I worked together for a little over a year and a half before we started dating. We were married for a little over 20 years. We have 4 kids. Our oldest is Chloe. She is actually my stepdaughter, but she's, ours. And then we have Jaden. He'll be 20 this year. Lila, who is a preteen, and then Gigi, who's our baby.
My dad was always a strong person. I always looked up to him as a kid. Like, my dad was always just a strong, big person, but he very much had his heart out for his family.
He always wanted to be with us. He wanted to do stuff together. He enjoyed taking Jaden out to teach him how to shoot. He enjoyed taking the girls to gymnastics and dance and doing the dance, watching Lila and her dance recitals. And Gigi, when she showed her love for football, was ecstatic. He was just so ecstatic because, that's his thing. And when she started playing, I know it melted his heart, but he loved the kids. He just loved them.
He just always wanted smiles around the room, and if someone was having a bad day, he'd focus on that one person.
He just had this vibe and just aura and just presence to him that when you saw Vinny walk in a room, you knew we're gonna have a great time. Friday morning, I just was one of those mornings, you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, the devil's really trying to work against me today. Everything was just douche. And so I was like, I'm just going to call out. So I called out and was just planning to maybe I needed rest, and shortly after Vinny came home, and of course he was just his happy self with his work bag and came in the room and was smiling. It was just like, what's going on? Excited. And I'm like, I called out, just having a, rough morning. He's like, you guys know Vinny, and he's animated, and he was like, oh, me too. I called out too, or Gigi and Lila, they were on spring break because the fair was there. And we just stayed the whole day on the couch together with the kids and just enjoyed that time watching TV together and just hanging out. And then towards the afternoon, he took the girls to the fair, and then they came home and told me all about it. They were excited, and we're like, we did this, we did that. Vinny was telling me about it too and everything. And it was, later, and I remember being in the kitchen hearing him say that he had to go to the gas station to get dip. Gigi asked again, where are you going? And he said, I gotta go to the gas station to get dip real quick. And she was like, okay. Nobody thought anything of it. And this was about half an hour later, and the gas station's 5 minutes. It's literally at the corner. So I just had this feeling something's wrong, and I just It's like, well, maybe like he got a flat tire, or maybe, I don't know, he ran into somebody and they're chit-chatting, but I started to call the phone just to make sure, and he didn't answer his cell phone. So I grabbed the keys and told the girls, Jana was upstairs, so I told them, I'm gonna go see what's going on with Daddy. And I just remember turning that corner, and there is a street light, but right before it is so dark, and I was going, and just as I was getting to that street light, I realized it just kind of happened. I just looked, and I was almost to the street light, and I hit the brakes because I saw the truck sitting in the dark and the lights were off. And I remember getting out, parking by the street light and getting out. And the driver's side window was foggy, or I thought it was foggy, and I thought it was weird because I thought, why would it only be that window that looks foggy when the rest of them do? And the truck was still running. And I just saw his silhouette in that foggy window looking down. I opened the door, it wasn't locked. When I opened the door, I, looked, and it was dark, but when I looked, I saw that it wasn't a phone in his lap. That's when I realized the window wasn't foggy, it was shattered from the bullet. And that's when I just saw him sitting there and with his face down.
I feel defeated that I have lost my dad.
It mind F's you to find somebody like that. That's something that is an incredible trauma that you'll live with for the rest of your life.
I know we all would have taken a life with you in any conditions, and we would have thought it's 1,000 times better than what we're living in now.
There's gonna be moments like for the girls, they're not gonna have their dad here to teach them how to drive. For Chloe, she's in one of her most serious relationships, and she's not gonna have him here to walk her down the aisle. None of the girls are gonna have their dad here to walk them down the aisle.
I always think about it with my sisters too, like, they're so young. They haven't gone through everything, they haven't graduated yet, and my dad's not going to be there for that.
Again, I don't know where someone's mind is, but it is not better. If that's at all what runs through their mind, it's not better with them gone. Not for the survivors. It's not. And that's pretty much what that decision is doing, is it's leaving people behind to suffer through it. And the more awareness we bring to that, maybe somebody who's going through it will see that aspect of it instead of just seeing, maybe what's going on in your mind, what you're going through, and seeing that tunnel vision of, what, this is the best solution. It's, it's going to put my family or these, loved ones or so forth in a better place. They'll be better off without me. Put yourself in their shoes. See it from their point of view at that point. This is the aftermath. This is what happens after, when their person is gone. There is chaos. There is pain. There's suffering. There's not joy, if that's what's in their thought process. There's not joy. There is not happiness. There's not peace. There's nothing good that comes from it. Nothing. So if that's a solution that people are thinking they take because something good's going to come from it, nothing good comes from it. The only thing that comes from it is a whole lot of horrible, a whole lot of pain, a whole lot of suffering. And I'm talking a lifetime of suffering for the survivors. Because now we have to live. And we have to live without Vinny. And we only get memories. It's not a solution under any circumstance.
Please reach out. Be the one.